Hello everyone, Satyaprakash here. Welcome to Coding Knowledge. In this video, I'll describe what is author identity unknown and remove Git global configuration. So in this video, I'll describe few points here. That is, what is the author identity unknown, commands to remove Git global configuration, difference between GitHub repo and Git repo, and how to authorize a Git credential manager, and what is Git push command. So before going through this video, please visit my last part 9 of GitHub tutorial, and this link I already have mentioned in my description section. So before starting about the author identity unknown, I need to go to the dev to local workspace, and here I have, in my last video I already show you that how to perform the git add command, git status and git commit. So in my last video, the git commit already successfully executed and committed to my staging area, but I want to reset my username and email. That means how to remove the git global configuration or reset the git global configuration. For this I need some commands here. So these commands are nothing but for username and email, that is git config -- global -- onset user.name, and to reset user email, the command is git config -- global -- onset user.email. So let's go to my git bash under the dev to local workspace. So go to there, and here I'll right click. Okay, now before this I want some changes here in my file.cs. So here I'll add one new property, and here I put that added mother name. So here I just add one new property, that is public string and the mother name, and I need to mention the get and set type. Okay, now I save these changes of my file.cs. I close this one, go to my git bash here. So git bash will open with the dev to workspace with its directory. So here I need to check the git status. See here, the git status showing that changes not staged to commit. That means some changes has been occurred in my file.cs, so that's not been available in my commit section or staging area. So what I'll do now, I just clear the screen here. I need to add the changes first to my staging area. So my file.cs and click enter. So now it is successfully added to my staging area. Now I'll check the git status. So you can see changes to be ready to be committed. It's not yet to be committed. Okay, so now I will show you that it is ready to be committed to my commit git repo, that means in my local git repo. So here what I'll do, I need to remove the git global configuration using this command. So for username, what is the command is git config -- global -- onset user.name. So I need to go to here. So I type the command git config -- global and -- onset user.name. That means this command will remove the username what it is in my local git already configured. I need another username and email as well. So click enter. So it successfully removed the existing username from my local git account or globally. Now I need to remove the global git email that is configured in my Git account. So here I mention the command that git config -- global -- onset and user dot email. Now click enter. Now successfully these two commands has removed the already configured username and email that has been removed globally. So what we'll do now, I'll commit the changes what I have done in my myfile.cs. So go to my Satya2 dev2 workspace here. Here I'll commit the changes and it is the git command, and I mentioned that is added new property in file. So I click enter here. See here what it is showing. It is showing that author identity unknown. That means your mail and username has not been set yet. So what we'll do now, we'll during run of git command, so this issue I face like author identity unknown, then I need to set user email and username using the command. So what I just clear the screen here. So I will set my user email and username what I have given during my creation of a GitHub account, or under what GitHub account username I need to push these changes under this Satya2 repository. So for this I need to configure my user email. So this command is git config user.email, and what is the email ID is satya2 home@gmail.com. What is your email ID? You need to mention there. So for this I have mentioned this email ID that is related to my GitHub account @gmail.com. Git config user.email, this on in between double quotation the email ID is satya2 home@gmail.com. Now click enter. Now my mail ID already set, and again I need to set my username. So the command is git config user.name. So we need to mention this username of GitHub account that is related to this mail ID. So the username is Mohan CS GitHub. What I need to push these changes using this account for this Satya2 GitHub repository. So Mohan CS GitHub, I have mentioned my GitHub account username. So now I want the click enter. Now both user email and username are successfully set to fix this issue of author identity unknown. So now I will check the command for commit. So now I'll execute this commit command, that is git commit -m added new property in file. So I click enter. Now you can see that is one file is changed and 3 insertions. So one file is changed, that means file name is myfile.cs, and 3 insertions means that is 3 lines I have updated here or newly added. That's why it's showing 3 insertions and plus symbol. So I'll show you what is these 3 insertions. So right click, edit this file. So as per the git bash command result, it's showing one file is changed. One file is nothing but the myfile.cs, and 3 insertions it is showing. That means 1, 2 and 3. These 3 insertions has been updated to in my myfile.cs. That's why in this git bash command it's showing 1 file changed and 3 insertions. Okay, now I close this one. Now I will run the git status command there and we'll see that there is no files or existing files in local, which means all the files are committed to my local git repository. So now I'll check the git status. Here you can see here that is your branch is ahead of origin or main. Origin nothing but the alias and main is nothing but the branch by 2 commits. That means there is no existing or new files in my pending. So it is everything is committed to my local git repository. There is nothing more pending is there. Okay, now then I need to keep the same files from local git repository to remote GitHub repository. For this I need a command called git push command. So whatever changes I have made in my myfile.cs, the file already available in my local git repository but not in my remote repository, that is GitHub repository. So what I'll do that, for this I need a command called git push. So the full command is, I just clear the screen. So the push these changes, that is the command is git push origin, it is nothing but the alias, and main is the nothing but the branch. Why it's main I mentioned, because in here during clone the files are available under this main branch. That's why I need to push these changes to main branch. So I'll talk about this git branches in my later video in depth. So I just click the enter. Now so it means my internet connection is gone. That's why it is showing that unable to access. So I need to reconnect again to my internet. So here I connect to my internet here and I will check this git push command. So I just clear the screen and run this command. Okay, now I just clear the screen correctly, so that there is nothing much on garbage showing in this git command. So git push and origin is the alias and main is the branch. So click enter. Okay, now it is waiting for, because it is connected to your remote GitHub account, GitHub repository. So this means permission Mohan CS GitHub Satya 2.git denied to Satya CS GitHub. Okay, so the unable to access this repository git push origin main, permission to Mohan CS GitHub. Okay, now I'll check this one. So Mohan CS GitHub is my GitHub account name and Satya 2 is my repository. Okay, I'll check this internet is correctly working or not. Yeah, it is working fine. So permission to Mohan CS GitHub Satya 2.git to Satya CS, that is GitHub. Okay, now I'll try again. Git push origin main. So click enter. So this unable to access, that is denied. Okay, so I think that is not authorize my Git credential manager. So I need to check again, go to this, and this is okay, fine. So this satya2.git. Okay, now why it is showing mon cs github satya2.git. Okay, I just copy here. I'll check this username is okay or not. I just copy here Mohan CS GitHub here. Remote permission, requested URL. Okay, now I need to Mohan CS GitHub to deny to Satya CS GitHub. So what I'll do here, I just go to the credential manager, or I will again remove this one, config global. So instead of a global, I just remove this one. So that means maybe, okay, now I'll set the email username. So I unset the both username and email, that is the git configuration from my system. So I again check this git push origin main. Check, now it is not working. So I just go to credential manager. Here I will click on this. So click on this web credentials. Okay, now here you'll see that GitHub some consists some. Okay, now here see, it's because in your local system it is already configured, that is Satya CS GitHub. That's why Git Credential Manager already taking this one. That's why it is not taking your Mohan CS GitHub, because already configured using Satya CS GitHub account. So I'll just remove this one. So click yes. Okay, now I'll check again, go to credential manager here, and okay, type correctly credential manager, and here I'll click on Windows credentials, and here you cannot see the GitHub account, what it is contains the earlier account related information, that is removed successfully. Now I'll check about, just clear the screen, I'll check about the git push origin main. So click enter. So it will connect to your GitHub repository now. Now it is asking about, that is sign in with your browser, you can see here. So I just click here and this button, and it will asking about the sign in to the my Git Credential Manager using the browser. Now guys, I think it will work fine, because earlier it was contain some other GitHub account. That's why during push it is not correctly working. So I already have removed this old account and I reset this one. See here, it is asking about sign in to GitHub to continue Git Credential Manager. I mentioned in my Mohan.cs GitHub and my password. So I just click sign in. Now it is asking about my 6-digit code, which one is available in my Gmail. So I go to my Gmail, I'll check and I'll find out some GitHub code, 6-digit code from there. Okay, so the code my push here is 924736. So click verify. See here, that is the Git Credential Manager. That is how to authorize the Git Credential Manager here. So now I'll authorize this Git Credential Manager using Mohan.cs GitHub GitHub account. That is Mohan.cs GitHub, and just authorize this Git Credential Manager. Now my authentication is succeeded. So you may now close this or return to the application. Okay, now that's fine. My account is successfully authenticated to the Git Credential Manager. So I'll go to this git bash here. Now see, automatically the git push is working properly and my file is successfully pushed to the GitHub repository, that is Satya2 GitHub repository, using Mohan.cs GitHub account. So that's the proof about my push is successfully changed or successfully work. Okay guys, so it after authentication succeeded using Git Credential Manager, it starts pushing the changes from my local Git repository to GitHub repository, as you see here. Now I can see the new files in my GitHub repository with comments during commit command. So for this I need to go to my GitHub account. I just refresh here and you can see earlier only one file was showing under Mohan.cs GitHub under this repository Satya2 readme.md, but after push these changes my file is successfully added here, my file.cs, and the message I have added during commit, that is added new property in file. So I need to see the contents of this file. I just click here under this file. Now see here all this namespace and here the class file and existing property name, and whatever new property I have added, that is mother name. I added the comment here, add mother name. That means whatever in my local Git repository in this file I have made changes, so the same file is pushed with the same content to my remote Git repository as you after push these changes, you can see here. Okay, now you can see the updated content of this file. Now I'll go to some other info about this. Now go to this Satya2 repo. Now we can see there is 3 commits, and when it will updated, that is 15 minutes ago, and this readme.md file what is committed 2 days ago, and recently it is updated my file.cs, that's why it is showing 15 minutes ago with commit message, that is added new property during commit the command, during commit the file, that is git commit -n added new property in file, what I have mentioned in my git bash command. Okay, now I'll just click here Now you can see the username Mohan says GitHub added new property in file. That means the git commit message is showing here also. It is nothing but the version ID, and it is the time and the duration, and it is how many commits it already done. So I click on this 3 commits. You can see here how many commits till now it is done. That is on 6th June and 7th June and 8th June. And in 7th June I have added another message name add new file called myfile.cs, and recently for push the changes I have added one new message that added new property in file, and here it is the different version ID for different changes of this file. For first changes it will be different version ID generated, and for second changes the different version ID is generated, and for third changes, final changes of myfile.cs, the different unique version ID is generated. So for each changes the version ID should be unique. Now go to my repository here. Now you can see here branch name is showing here, that is a main branch. So main branch is nothing but the default branch. So I'll talk about this what is default branch in my later video. Now I'll click here under this link about the git message, and here you can see that it is nothing but the git commit message, and under which branch, that is main branch, and username Mohan says GitHub committed 7 minutes ago, and showing one changed file with 3 additions and 0 deletion. 3 addition nothing but the 3 insertions what I discussed earlier, that is 3 plus symbols are there. First line, second line I have added one comment, third line I have added new property, that is mother name, and there is 0 deletion. That means there is nothing, no lines I have removed, that's why 0 deletion. If I'll remove again this line, I push the changes, then it will show that 1 deletion here, but as of now there is only 3 addition, 3 plus symbols are there, and 0 deletions here. And here you can see the commit ID, that is not the unique version ID, the full commit ID is there. So this is nothing but the commit ID what I have discussed earlier. What is the unique ID for each changes of this file. This same ID also generated in my local Git repository, what you will see here in remote GitHub repository. Okay, now I'll go to my presentation here. So using this command I already have removed git global configuration, and also I locally how to remove this git configuration and existing GitHub account from the credential manager of my Windows system. Okay, now I'll go to this one, how to fix author identity unknown during commit the changes. I set the username and email, that is the git config user.email and user.email, that is mention my email, and username I mention my username here. Okay, now guys I'll show you one thing. Go to my this credential manager, credential manager here. Okay, now I'll show you what is under Windows credential, the GitHub account. See here the git generic under Windows credential there is another option is generic credential, and here earlier I have removed, that's why it is not showing my other account. But now after authenticated the git credential manager, the GitHub it is showing now in my local. So what it is showing now, so network address and my username is Mohan CS GitHub. Earlier it is showing Satya CS GitHub. That's why when Mohan CS GitHub account wants to push the changes, it is not happening, it is failed, because in my Windows credential it contains another GitHub account, that is Satya CS GitHub. But after remove this one and set up again the git credential manager using GitHub account, or after successfully authenticated the git credential manager using this account, Now my push the changes works fine, and Windows credentials correctly set up my Mohan.cs GitHub account here. So that's all I want to share with you, how to set up the Git credential manager and how to fix author identity unknown. Okay, now I'll go here. So this is my YouTube channel, Coding Knowledge. In this channel, please subscribe and share it to get to up-to-date knowledge on .NET Core, SQL Server, MVC, C#, Angular, GitHub, and Git tutorial, DevOps series, and Jenkins, and some safe agile methodology I'll create later in my channel. So now I'll tell about what is the difference between GitHub repository and Git repository. So GitHub repository is nothing but our remote location. You can see here, after login to the GitHub account, you can see the remote GitHub repository that is on the remote location Satya2, and Satya2 contains two files, myfile.cs and readme.md file. So here you can clone this repository to your local one and do some changes there and push these changes to the remote repository that is GitHub repository, that is Satya2. Now I'll show about what is local repository. So local repository, local Git repository, nothing but after clone the remote GitHub repository, it will show some files .git and readme.md file. But after I have added some new file called myfile.cs. Now my local Git repository Satya2 is updated with myfile.cs, but this file is not available to my remote Git repository. That's why it will be pushed the changes to my remote GitHub repository, that is Satya2 here. Now I just check one thing, .git, and here I'll go to reps and head folder. I here see under .git folder, here main is nothing but the branch. Okay, now I want to open this file. So if you'll create some other branches, it will show some other names, main or your master or your anything, the branch name it will show here under .git. Here see, the unique ID is generated in your local Git repository is nothing but the commit ID or unique version ID. So the same ID also will be generated in your GitHub repository here. Okay, now I want to the same full version ID here. I just click enter. Now you can see the same commit ID also push to our remote GitHub repository, that is Satya2. The same commit ID also available in my local Git repository, that nothing but this one under .git folder. Under this git.git folder there is another folder, reference folder, and under reference folder there is another file called heads folder, and under heads folder you'll get one more file called main. It is nothing but the branch, so it contains the commit ID or unique version ID. The same ID also pushed here to my remote GitHub repository. That's it. So that's how it works in local Git repository and remote GitHub repository. Now I go to my presentation. So as of now, what we have learned in this video, that is what is author identity unknown, how to fix it, and what are the commands to remove Git global configuration, and also Git system configuration using Credential Manager. In Credential Manager there are two types, web Credential Manager and Windows Credential Manager. So under Windows Credential Manager I have removed my existing GitHub account and I have set up my new GitHub account, that is Mohn/CS GitHub. So that helps us to push these changes from local Git repository to remote GitHub repository. And we learned about what are the difference between GitHub repository and Git repo, and how to authorize Git credential manager, and what is Git push command. So Git push command is nothing but to push the changes from local Git repository to GitHub repository. So that's all about guys for today. Thank you for listening and have a great day.